Hello, welcome to WSBP TV. I'm your host, Gwen Pacallo, Director of the Women's Small Business Program at Mercy Connections. We have a really fun show today. Before we get started, I just want to tell you about a couple of classes we have coming up in the fall. We have Getting Serious, our Introduction to Self-Employment. That'll be running Wednesday and Thursday, August 12th and 13th from 5:30 to 9 p.m. It's a great way to figure out if business is right for you, if you some of the values you'll need to address if you're starting a business. Then our comprehensive business planning course, kind of our hallmark course, Startup, will kick off in September. It starts September 10th, and it'll run Thursdays and Sundays for 15 weeks until December. If you're interested in that, make sure to fill out your application as soon as possible. You can find that on our website, wsbp.org. We also have two really exciting programs coming up in the fall as well. We've got Personal Financial Empowerment, and we had talked with Carmen a couple of months ago on the show about what that process looks like, what the class looks like. We have a kickoff to the program September 1st with Colin Ryan. He's kind of a personal financial hope guru, and he's a stand-up comedian. And then we'll be kicking off the program with individual and group personal financial coaching. That starts September 1st. You can enroll at any time. It's rolling admission to that. And then the Personal Financial Empowerment class starts September 15th. It'll run on Tuesdays for 7 weeks. We're also introducing Gig Life, which is a great new class. It's looking at how to manage a multiple income stream lifestyle. It's a really innovative class, looking at everything from cash management to kind of values satisfaction. That'll run in November. You can find out about all of our programs at wsbp.org. All right, so let's get into our show today. Social enterprise and social responsibility are kind of the catchphrases that we're hearing in business today, especially here in Vermont. A lot of conferences, things like that, panels going on. And we're taking today an implementation focus. One of the things that happens is that when we talk about these type of catchphrases, it can be really theoretical. And today we have an incredible partnership with the Davis & Hodgson Associates. And I have Kathryn Baccaglini here as our guest. She's the firm administrator for Davis & Hodgson. And we're going to talk about what on-the-ground implementation of social responsibility missions and values really looks like. We'll also be talking about the WSBP Davis & Hodgson Signature Partnership Program that's a part of that on-the-ground implementation. Kathryn, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So, okay, let's start with what is Davis & Hodgson, and can you make sure to tell us your tagline as well?
Absolutely. So Davis & Hodgson, we've been in business for over 25 years. John Davis started the firm with because he felt that CPAs needed to be more client-focused and not just a tax return or a bookkeeping client, but to do more projections and planning. Our tagline is we're innovative, entrepreneurial, and experienced. And basically what that means is that what we try to do is conduct business in a very innovative way, in ways that small businesses may not currently conduct business. And entrepreneurial is our focus. It's how we run the business, and it's our focus on most of the clients and stuff that we use as well.
Great. And now, just to touch on some of your services, so you offer not only kind of tax return stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer we offer tax planning, audit services, valuation services, business consulting, bookkeeping. Our real focus is to have a more holistic view of with our clients. So we may start with their simple tax return, but then that turns into tax planning work for them, budgeting work, some HR consulting work, that type of thing to help grow their business. And then that in turn helps grow their personal finances. And then we also offer financial planning to kind of close the gap.
Oh, isn't that terrific?
Yeah.
And just to kind of put a plug in for your HR training sessions, our finance manager just attended one of the HR strategic planning sessions, and she has been raving about it.
It's very, very, very important for our firm and for our clients to be part of that, and our nonprofit clients.
Excellent.
As well. Yeah.
Excellent. And so, okay, so you touched on your tagline, innovation, entrepreneurial, innovative, experience.
Yes.
And so this is a fascinating tagline, especially with how you guys are positioning yourselves, really not only in the marketplace, but in the greater business community.
Yeah.
So you guys have really started looking at how to put together an on-the-ground, socially responsible plan for a type of business, accounting, that isn't typically one of the first that you think about for opportunities for social responsibility. So can you tell us first about what that process looked like, being able to position yourself in
Absolutely. So many, many years ago, we sat down and we looked at our books and we realized, well, we're donating money to all these different nonprofits. We're doing a lot of things in our business that are environmentally friendly. And then on top of that, obviously our staff wellness is really important. And you put those three things together and you realize what we really needed was a structured corporate social responsibility plan. So we started searching for something, and everything we came up with was for big businesses. And they were novels, and they were huge, and there were lots of pictures and graphics. And as accountants, you sit there and you say, well, what's really the benefit from this? Are we going to, what's the dollar, what's the dollars involved, or how is it affecting the community, and can this be scaled? So we instantly went into, let's scale this for small business. We brought in Leslie Halprin as a kind of a consultant to help us out with our CSR plan, because it became quite a project. We started in 2012. And you break it down into three basic elements. So we realized, and all of it, actually, they all blend together. So if we start with the environmental standards element of our CSR plan, we had, a couple years before, we had put solar panels on our building.
Oh, cool.
And so we function, all of our power functions, about a third of it we're powered by the sun, which is fantastic. And going through that process, we had to go through, there was a ton of analytics to figure out what's the cost-benefit analysis of doing this. And we started to realize that environmental practices in the office setting does not necessarily it may cost a little money up front, but the payback is huge. And then of course staff really, really appreciated that, and they were really into that. And then so that was an obvious, easy one for us. Our firm is the only CPA firm that's certified by the Vermont Environmental Business Partnership, and we're actually one of 2 professional services firms. So we were excited about that as well. So that element of the CSR seemed very natural to us. We're like, all right, we're already doing all these things, so now we just kind of document it. And we also found that all the vendors that we used started referring clients, and we were referring clients to them. And that's exactly how we want it to work in this community. We want everything to be a partnership. And we want to be able to, whatever we've learned, we like to share. What our clients learn, we like to learn from them as well. So then the next piece was the community works. And what we had already had in place was a lot of staff that were involved in boards, a lot of people that did things like trail maintenance, or volunteered with animals, or volunteered with business organizations. And then we also donated money to a lot of organizations, and we did a lot of pro bono work. And so we were trying to figure out a way to organize and capture that. So that's where the community works element of our CSR plan came into play. And then those two things just brought in the staff wellness element of the CSR. Making sure that our staff is paid well, they have good benefits, good work environment, and then because they themselves are asking for the ability to go out and volunteer in the community and kind of a work-life balance, it seemed natural to incorporate some benefits for them to have paid time to volunteer. And so we were able, they crunched the numbers and they figured out what we could do to offer these benefits and still benefit the community. The whole basis of all of this is basically you get a successful business like Davis & Hodgson, it's growing. So now you contribute to the local community, and that grows the local community. And then as the local community grows, so does the economy, and it drives success for individuals and other nonprofits, and that's a payback to the successful businesses.
Right.
So it seemed just like a no-brainer to put this all together and to put it into place. So that's basically how this whole process worked in developing our CSR plan.
And it took 2 years,
it took a good 2 years, to put all of that together. Absolutely.
That's phenomenal. That's really, and one of the things that's so cool is that you've told me some stories about how I think it was John or Brett, who are both the senior partners,
Absolutely.
Had put together a spreadsheet tracking a very complicated spreadsheet, calculating all the financials and the environmental payback.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
And I can't think of someone who's better probably to do that than to accountants. Okay, so then we talked about your social responsibility process.
Right.
And that kind of leads us into, okay, so why are you here besides you guys are so cool and we, you're working with a lot of our clients who end up starting businesses just because you do have this expertise in doing entrepreneur development. So can you tell us about what is the WSBP Strategic Partnership and
Absolutely.
how did you get there?
Yeah, absolutely. So in developing the CSR plan and the community works piece, we sat down with that spreadsheet and we had all the numbers and where all the money was going, and we realized it was, we're happy to donate it and to give it out, but we realized there was no focus that directly related to our mission. And so with Entrepreneurial being part of our mission, we came, entrepreneurial services and nonprofits that are dedicated to growing that area became one of our mission cause areas in our CSR plan. So it was the green economy, it was financial literacy, and then it was entrepreneurship. So we went out with Leslie's help and we scoured all the nonprofits in this area, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we went and we tried to figure out what was really, out of all these nonprofits, which ones had a component that would match any one of these three. Financial literacy, any of the other three. And so it narrowed it down. And as we interviewed the people that narrowed it down to, all of them said, well, we do refer people back to the Women's Small Business Program with Mercy Connections. And it was just light bulb. We were like, well, that's the obvious choice for us. And we've always kind of sort of kept track of Mercy Connections. We've always been really big fans of the work that is done in the community and with the small business program. And it's growing. I mean, it's like you were just talking about the classes that are coming up. It's growing by leaps and bounds, and there's such a need for it. The education, when people go into business, there's so much more than just, I'm going to opening up the door.
Right.
And that's a reality check for people to learn. So it's really great to have a 15-week program that takes you through all of this on everything you need to know, good and bad. So we felt like it was just completely aligned with our mission as a firm, as a business, as a for-profit business, but also in alignment with what we wanted to do and our effect and our contribution to the community wants to be.
Thank you. So we're honored and blessed to have this strategic partnership. So I believe it was last summer, you and John approached us and said, are you interested in pursuing this strategic partnership?
Absolutely.
And just like your greater organization's CSR plan, corporate social responsibility plan, is very holistic, looking at both individual level contributions to the community to writing that check and the connection to social works. You also applied that to the strategic partnership.
Yep.
So we'll put up kind of a list of all of the things that, well, not all of the things, but some of the key points that the strategic partnership entails, and maybe we can just kind of go through a couple of them. So you sponsored our signature May luncheon,
Absolutely.
Which was a powerful community experience.
Amazing. That was an amazing luncheon. Yeah, our staff, we had a lot of our staff came to that, and our staff knows about the signature partnership. They know about WSB, but to be there and to hear the people talk and to see how much community, they walked out of there feeling just absolutely so proud to be part of a firm that was supporting you, but just be part of the big community picture.
Absolutely.
It was a great event.
Oh, thank you. And
yeah.
it's always a really powerful experience being able to hear from participants, not just from WSBP, but also education transition programming and our mentoring programming. So we were so glad that you were there. And what you kind of touched on was your staffing.
Absolutely.
And the staff has an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience. It's in your tagline. And so you also had people come in. You presented along with Elysia, about working with an accountant. And we were talking before the show, Kathryn and I, talking before the show about, okay, what does it look like to actually work with an accountant? What does that mean? And we'll have you on another time to talk about that. And so you talked about that, and you guys always have a great amount of passion for those conversations.
Right.
And then you also had, Elysia didn't do that one. Jonathan came in and did.
Jonathan did help with that. Yep.
Jonathan Breen came in and did that. And then you guys came to the resource night, and here's a picture of the resource night. Where you all came in and with a bunch of other service providers and met each other, the students, formed some of those relationships. Okay, hey, this is how you work with us. This is why you might use us. This is who you can go to if we're not a good fit.
Yep.
That's always a really fun experience. And you also sponsored a scholarship for one of our startup students, Megan Stearns, who was expanding her pet business, a pet-related business. And there's a great picture of her with all of us at the kind of kickoff of that scholarship. And I know she and we thank you for that opportunity. And then we're also going to be doing a bookkeeping class. We haven't decided exactly who's going to instruct that, but those classes for you guys fill up incredibly quickly.
They're very popular.
So it's a great opportunity for our students to be able to access that. And of course, the business plan reviews. And I think I touched on that, but if I didn't, that is an awesome experience. Jonathan Breen and Justin Wicks came in and did that. And I got an email from them afterwards saying, thank you so much. And they were so passionate.
And that was actually a really great example of why what we're hoping to get out of the Signature Partnership. You know, it isn't just about, it's just that, it's a partnership. So it's not just about us giving you money. It's us providing services, and the services, by us providing services, actually also provides training to our staff. So by presenting, they're learning public speaking skills, which is not something that comes natural necessarily to all accountants, or business consultants. So that was one of the reasons too why you were such a natural fit, because there were so many things we could do that our staff could learn from your students and learn from your organization, but also gain experience doing. And in addition to us providing our experience to you. So that's the business plan reviews was a great example of that. Both Jonathan and Justin came out of that so excited. They were really excited to hear about the different businesses. They were excited to do the reviews. They were excited about the collaboration that was happening that evening. And I mean, if other staff in our office wants to do them, there might be a little bit of a fight to go who
we'll take
bids on it. But that was
great.
A great experience for them.
And you talked about how meaningful it has been for your staff, and it's also been a partnership for us in that the obvious ways, but it's been so meaningful to also have that connection, be able to connect with you in the community. Before we close, I'd love to also just kind of give you a shout out that Kathryn is extremely involved in the business community outside of just being the firm, and not just, you're doing incredible things on the ground at being the firm administrator at Davis & Hodgson. You're also a board member of the Women Business Owners Network, WBON. And that's an incredible resource for us in the community.
Absolutely.
For a lot of our students who end up graduating and going into starting a business, we've got these experienced women entrepreneurs that they can use.
Yeah, wonderful organization, and that's exactly it. We're also part of, very active with VBSR and other business supporting organizations. So the whole putting everything together just made so much sense for us to do this and be part of the Signature Partnership.
Oh, and Kathryn, we are honored and blessed. Thank you so much for the opportunity to work with you guys. And then thank you for coming on the show today. We'll make sure to have you back when we're talking about the on the ground about accounting. And we're so grateful for Davis & Hodgson and helping us to continue to spread the message about Mercy Connections and the Women's Small Business Program. And thank you for the exposure to our programs.
You're welcome.
So we're going to be taking a break from WSBP TV for July. Let's all take a vacation, and we'll look forward to seeing you in August when we start talking a little bit more about some of our upcoming programs. Thank you again to Kathryn Baccaglini of Davis & Hodgson. You can reach her at dh-cpa.com.
You got
it. You can access WSBP programs at wsbp.org. Have a good summer. We'll look forward to seeing you in the fall.